Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We do not have any games for you tonight. There is no TF2 to be watched. There's not going to be any air shots or backstabs or medic drops, but we're going to be talking a lot about TF2. We're going to be talking a lot about Highlander, as it is the Highlander Award Show for the most recent season, season 23. We're going to be looking over some of the best players of the Premiership season and see who's going to be earning the awards for best players on their classes, best debut, best caster, and of course MVP, the best overall gamer of Highlander. So I'm CJ, I'm going to be hosting, and these guys are going to be doing the majority of the talking when it comes to the discussion. They're the ones with the brains. To my left, I believe it is, we have Axio, who played last season for Failure Esports, who came out runners-up. We also have Sneaky, who played for Veni Vidi Vici V3, or I Came, I Saw, I Conquered, whatever name you prefer to call them by. Just underneath me, we have Mezzo from the Champions, SDCK. He's also the defending Spy of the Season. Those two previous gentlemen will be trying to wrestle that from him by the end of the show. Just next to Mezzo is Meer, casting legend of the past seasons, also nominated for award tonight. And finally, we are also joined by Sodium, who is our resident ETF2L admin and is going to be giving us all the info. He has all of the information. We don't know any of the numbers, who's won. This is going to be surprises for us as well as you. It's down to Sodium to tell us. We'll do a quick season recap, I guess. SCCK won, moving on. But they got to the final once again, but they were not the top seed. They were the second seed. We can take a look at, see, look at Wiethoofd. He does all this magic like stuff on the screen. I don't know how to do that. At the bottom, unfortunately, Kitty's Bark and Van Damme, we did not get a point this season. Bad Dragons came actually in third place. They were in the playoffs, but lost out. But the top two there, Failure Esports, actually finished first in the regular season. They were the top seeds going into the final, but they lost out 2 maps to 1 to STCK, who won another crown and were season 23 champions. I'm going to stop talking now. We're going to start talking about the class awards. We have a lot of awards. We have 9 class awards, obviously 9 classes, 9 awards to be given out. We're going to be going through them one by one, talking about the nominees, maybe some people who missed out on an opportunity, whether the winners deserve to get their awards. We'll have a casting award as well for the best caster of the season, best debut, first season in Prem, who performed the best, and finally overall best player, MVP. The top dog, basically, will be our final award. But the first one is obviously Scout. I'm going to hand you over to Sodium, who's going to tell us the nominees.
All right, so on Scout, we started off strong, having an old, well-known face, May, BB, and Lizer or Logan, as he's known in RGL.
I think he's called Logan, mostly, yeah.
All right, boys, this is where you jump in, defend your teammates, or tell us that actually they were nominated, but they're horrible in Mumble and, they're terrible people.
Well, to be honest with you, I think most people would agree that they're not surprised May's nominated, considering he's been around absolutely ages and does so much for STCK, really. Logan, I don't think most people knew Logan before this season in EU, really, but on the stats, Logan actually has the most kills per minute out of all the scouts and the best KD out of all the scouts as well.
Yeah, I just brought up the numbers. BB was actually just behind 0.02 behind in terms of kills per minute. So those two, the only scouts actually this season to get over a kill a minute across all of their games. So yeah, it was definitely doing a lot of work for Failure.
Yeah, I think that also shows that he comes back into the debut vote as well, BB.
I'm looking at the other players, and there's actually some players there. We got Thomas, who was last season's scout of the season and MVP. So he won 2 awards last season when he was playing for V3.
Yeah.
This season he played for Envision and they finished bottom 2, and he hasn't been nominated.
Thomas only played 3 games this season. I believe everyone else here has played 4 or 5.
Wow. There's only one of them that can win this season, and the only person in the room who knows is Sodium. He holds all the cards. Do you want to tell us the top 3 in ascending order?
Sure. So starting it off, in number 3 is Lizer, followed by May and BB taking home.
That's interesting.
It's just everyone's so used to it being May for Scout season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the numbers. So yeah, 12% is, it may be a bit unfair for him, but 52% is very high considering May is won so many Scout of the Season awards. That's quite a big difference.
I feel like either any of them like would have deserved it. I mean, BB did a lot for Fela for sure, and May is a great team player overall and one of the best coaches ever, I think. So yeah.
Honestly, you guys are way too nice. I miss the old days. The old guard who used to argue and shout and scream and throw at each other. Like, oh, come on, we need Sodium. Do you want to give us the nominees for Soldier of the Season?
Yeah. So for Soldier of the Season, we have a bit more well-known players. We have Jackie, Duo, and Boshi.
I mean, the one that obviously sticks out is going to be Jackie Legs again. I think he's
Yeah.
will this be his 8th time if he nets this one in a row?
It would be his 8, yeah.
I mean, it's undeniable. He's definitely at the top flight, but you know, Boshi and Duo definitely put in good shifts themselves. Boshi worked really well with Lightcore sort of throughout the season, especially on those Koth maps. But I can really only see this going one way.
I think if anyone wins that isn't Jackie Legs, it's a robbery, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Jackie Legs, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think maybe if he wins today, he becomes the most awards for a single class, which at the moment has been for like years Steve on Pyro with 8.
It would be his 9 in total, but it's 8 in a row if he wins. Yeah.
So he would become the most awarded on a single class in Highlander. But Duo, I've said for a long time, I felt he has some crazy plays. Maybe not one of his best seasons, but over the past like year or so, I think Duo's been one of the best soldiers around.
Duo's definitely good, but like Jackie has the best stats all the time, whilst main calling for his team. Like, like he pretty much, I'd say he's one of the reasons that SDCK is like objectively the best team. Really, like he contributes so much.
I agree, yeah. He's probably the most important SCCK player in my opinion.
Sodium, did anybody take him down this season? Who is the best soldier?
Well, yeah, let's find out. Coming in and running down from third again is Duo. It followed really closely by Boshi. So Jackie takes home Soldier of the Season for the 8th time in a row.
It's not a big surprise.
Yes.
By quite a margin.
Yeah. I mean,
First 2 wins, over 50% votes for the winners.
I'd definitely say that's, like we've said it already, but that's well deserved. And I do think like if anyone could find soldiers good as Jackie Legs, they would have a chance of taking down SDCK. But until that happens, it'll be a hard thing to do.
But yeah, 50% of the votes by 0.1%. Jackie Legs becoming the most awarded individual on a class in Highlander with 9 Soldier of the Season awards. That's very, very impressive and shows kind of the domination he's had over many seasons. Let's get into a really fun class, a class that everyone loves though. Everyone loves this class. Everyone's favorite. It's a public's favorite, right?
Yeah, it's everyone's favorite class, and we have as nominees Strono, Grip, and Yahoo or Daddy, whatever you want to call him these days.
You've got 3 spy mains, so we can just skip this class, right? Surely.
yeah, I don't want to talk about this actually. Now that I think of it.
I think
who catches you guys out most? Come on, which one of those catches you out most?
Well, I think Yahoo is definitely has been one of the best players for quite a long time, really. Like he always does well for his team. But having said that, this season Grip like really impressed me. Like mechanically, Grip is like actually a pretty nuts Pyro, like really, really good. Sterno also good, but like his team didn't do too well this season, and I think he's quite passive, and that sort of was a reason that Envision like their combo wasn't on the same page. So for me, Grip is the one that like really stands out this season, but Yahoo has been amazing for the past like 5 seasons. So
same, yeah, Yahoo is probably the best Pyro for a very long time now, and yeah, I hated playing against him, so I'm glad I'm on his team now.
I would personally say that Yahoo probably deserves this award. He is the hardest one to deal as a spy player. Grip sometimes goes for those shiny plays that are very fun to watch in KritzKast, but when they're actually happening in game, you're like, please stop, just spy check a bit more.
I do like the flare jump into the combo with Uber. That's a flashy Grip play that I've enjoyed this season. But flashy kills, what's the one that got rewarded here, Sodium?
Well, coming in third, we have Strono. Second, Grip, and Yahoo winning his 7th in a row, 8 total Pyro of the season. But it was really, really close.
I think that's fair enough. Like, I think the fact that Yahoo and Grip are so close is a good thing. Also, like, And I think Sterno sort of did deserve third place. Not to be mean to him, but like considering how Envision did, you couldn't really place many higher compared to the top 2 teams.
For information, that's a 5-vote difference, and it's not the closest vote of the day.
Oh no!
Why
Not
do you
again.
tease us like this, Sodium?
Oh
You tease
no!
us.
Please don't.
I would say that's probably the closest Pyro vote we've had in a long time, because like since
Yeah.
the inception of Pyro, Steve won like the first 8, and then Sinrise won, then Garden Fungus, and then since then I think it's just been Yahoo. So it's nice to see another Pyro getting close. You know, shows that there's more players playing the class who can maybe challenge. Well, there we go.
There's always next season. Maybe next season he'll finally finish Yahoo's domination of this award.
I'll have to keep an eye on next season, season 24, when it rolls around. The next class is, of course, the demo. I'm wanting to hear from our resident demo professional, Meer, clearly expert at the class, knows everything.
Obviously, naturally,
Obviously.
you know, I've been at the
Yeah.
top flight for ages now. Everyone knows who I am.
Yeah, I mean, they come to you for advice on how to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a bit of a multi-class prodigy, but you know, Demoman's where I find my home. So, yeah, again, like, really solid across the board. Again, I think the 3 nominations pretty solid. We got Sammy, Joe, and Murphy. Of course, Murphy emerging on top with SDCK. But the man for me, it's obviously going to be Joe N, Mr. Newcastle himself.
And I'd say between Joe and Murphy sort of like, Joe really plays like a carry like role of Demoman, like walks forwards, just like deals so much damage, and like as well as main calling, like for his team it's pretty good. Whereas Murphy, I'd say like Murphy's also very good, but in a different way. I'd say if anything, Murphy plays sort of like the smarter style of Demoman. Like he puts himself less in risky positions, and that lets him like live at really good moments. So, but Joe is like, I think Joe deserves to win this personally.
Well, we'll have to see which one comes out on top. Sodium, hit us with those percentages.
Yeah, here we go again. Running it up from third. Murphy coming in third. Sami coming in second, and Joe taking the win quite convincingly for his 5th Demoman of the season.
Yeah, I think that's deserved. Maybe
That's fair enough.
not to like obviously talk bad about someone on my own team, but I think maybe considering Sammy only played like 3 games, like he did well in those games, but Murphy could have maybe gone higher, but like Sammy still wasn't bad by any means, but I think that is probably a bit of a popularity vote for him.
That's the biggest, that's the highest percentage we've seen so far, right? It's 52.6.
That is the highest one so far. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it seems so far. I mean, other than the Pyro, which was very close, about 40 odd each, but 3 out of the 4 top most voted has had over half the votes, which is pretty convincing for all of them so far. Heavy of the season though, Sodium, is that going to be a different story?
Who knows? We'll first start with the nominees being Sandwich, Sandburn, Poi, and Blur.
I noticed like Sandburn was actually ridiculously aggressive on heavy. Like he puts out so much damage, and like he's just like so far forward for his team. I think like he was a big like it almost felt like SCCK played probably more aggressive this season than they have previously, and like he just was a massive part of that, I would say.
We usually played with Poker before, and he doesn't like speak a lot, so it was very refreshing to play with a heavy that's actually able to like main call. I'm surprised that he like top frag like every single game we've played with him. It was kind of insane.
He got highest kills per minute out of all these nominees, and like by a pretty significant margin, by like 0.15, which is quite a lot per minute. Like really.
Yeah, in the final, I think the thing that I'm going to remember the most is how aggressive Sandburn was on the payload maps. Just not being in positions you'd expect, but being there. And obviously that was the call because everyone was there to support. And you know, he's taking down 2-3 people and might die because of it, but you take out a third of the enemy team just for one player. It's huge. And when you consider that's the heavy, he's always been very, very strong, and bringing the calls to the table as well is really, really good.
Poi has very good mechanics, but that probably goes for everyone in Prem on heavy, to be honest. Like everyone can track here.
Yeah, Poi's probably the most annoying to play against as a spy, to be honest with you. Like, he's pretty ridiculously spy aware, like, all the time. All 3 of the heavies here are, like, pretty solid nominees, I would say. Like, there's not much separating them as a top 3.
But who picked up the most votes is the most important thing, Sodium.
Exactly. Coming in third is Blur, followed by Poi and Sandburn taking heavy of the season.
Understandable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
deserved, I say.
Served it, yeah.
My boy Blur been done dirty, but I think other than that, like, yeah, it's fair enough.
Poi getting exactly a third of the votes. Yeah, Sandburn winning and potentially his last season. So winning the title and winning heavy of the season. On to, well, we can't call it that anymore. Engineer of the season. He's not here, so we can't say who are the people nominated. Sodium, tell us, or do we even need to
We
ask?
have a lot of people we've seen before on Engine of the season as well. Obviously, Clark, Rambosaur, and Lilypad.
Clark always is a very solid engineer, and definitely as a spy, Clark is horrible to play against. This was my first season playing against Lilypad. They were like a very hard to play against NG as well. Like definitely both Clark and Lilypad were doing a lot for their teams.
Lily is playing on like 120, 130 ping usually because, American player.
I would say also Rambo, very solid NG. Like I wouldn't say it was his best season, but that's maybe because our team did slightly worse than the teams that the other NGs are nominated for. I don't know. All three, yet again, very solid.
I don't even remember how it is to play against Clark, to be fair. So,
Promise. It's no fun at all, I promise.
Are you telling me you don't do Spy versus NG Sentry MGE before scrims? Who got the most votes, Sodium? Is it going to be a repeat?
It might be. Let's find out. Rambo coming in third, followed by Lilypad, and Clark of the season is Clark taking in his 4th win in a row and his 9th in total. Congratulations.
It's another vote where the ZCK player gets 49%.
Yeah, so Clark winning Engineer of the Season again, 49.2%. Lilypad just behind, about 18% difference between the two. On to it's not even arguably, it's definitely the most complex and hardest class in the game. Once you master it, you become a legend amongst men. Medic, Sodium, tell us who are the nominees.
For Medic, we have 2 people we've seen before, being Geru and Jorge, and then we have Silvermaster coming in.
I was pretty impressed with Silvermaster this season. It was his first season in Prem. I know he didn't play that many matches, but like he was definitely pretty good. Gedu's always good, really. Sometimes though, Gedu some questionable plays like the taunting with the I don't even know what the weapon's called. That's something I'm not a massive fan of. But Jorge as well. Jorge is very good. Jorge comms a lot for us too.
I would say that there were other medics that should deserve the nomination over Silvermaster, to be honest. Like, Layla probably played better, and there is no gun held to my head right now to say this, by the way. But the only thing that Silvermaster did, as far as the logs go, he got pretty high heals, but he only played 3 games. He was on the team that got 0 points for the first time since season 8. So I think that the medic who deserves it the most here is Jorge, probably.
So I think if I was going to give it to anyone here, it'd be Jorge, but Degu also is relatively deserving, I would say.
Are we supposed to say Degu, or is it Gedu, or is it Catgirl? Sodium, let us know who is the medic of the season.
Yeah, so Medic turned out to be one of the best distributed votes of the whole poll session. Coming in third is Silvermaster, followed closely by Jorge and Geru taking home his 4th win in a row.
Well, I'll tell Jorge to start taunting with the amputator next season then, I guess.
Kind of close between the 3, though. I mean, 29 in third and 38 in top. That's not very much between. I think it's the closest one so far in terms of like votes between the top 3.
So we had 7 classes so far, and 5 SDCK, 6 SDCK.
The usual, yeah, happens.
Only Scout and Demo so far, not been
Scout and
SDCK.
Demo, yeah, haven't been SDCK.
Well, we're moving on to Sniper now. Let's see if that's going to be a different story.
Yeah, we have the only class category with the 4 nominees, being Cloudy, Kazarok, Kuroi, and Stingen.
For me personally, Kaza will always be the best sniper, but he's like on the same level with like Cloudy in my opinion.
Yeah, like Kazarok is pretty ridiculous. You could see it in the final where obviously he didn't play the whole game, and I'd say you could, as soon as he's out of the game, even though Redlix came in, and Redlix is very good, don't get me wrong, the impact Kaza has is pretty ridiculous compared to everyone else, honestly. Kuroi though also, I was pretty impressed with Kuroi. more so this season than last season.
Kuroi had a very good final, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I would like to see Kuroi win this.
Yeah, I think
Be
one of the
happy to
things
watch.
that just separates like Kaza and Cloudy for me from people like Kuroi is consistency. Like, you really need a sniper that like can consistently be good, and Kuroi is like, I'd say on his good day, Kuroi is probably the best sniper. You want someone that is always going to be reliable. Stinghun, obviously, also, if you look at logs, Stinghun had the second highest kills per minute and like kill assist per minute, which is pretty impressive considering how bad his team did. So there's that, I guess.
Stinghun's just always been, one of the top. Like, again, like 3 of the players there. I think this was the same last season. We had 3 players who had won Sniper of the Season before, Stinghun, Kazarok, and Cloudy. And it was the 4th one, Fundo, who ended up winning. So that could go for Kuroi this time around. Sodium, he's the top sniper this season.
All right. Coming in 4th is Stinghun, followed by Kazarok. Kuroi taking 2nd and Cloudy winning Sniper of the Season. His 3rd one.
Nice.
Congratulations.
That's unfortunate.
I'm happy with that. Cloudy played every single game for his team, and just did like a lot of work. He's really hard to deal with. They play well around him. It's easier for him to stand out, also, I would say, than Kaza, because Kaza's on a team with the 8 other best players. So, whereas Cloudy, like, his team didn't do as well, and he still did pretty insane.
Yeah, I think Cloudy had like the most impact on a sniper on any team from all the snipers this season. He deserves it, in my opinion.
He does deserve it. It's just not who I would like to win, but I can accept this.
I agree. But that doesn't matter, because who cares about the other classes? Everyone here is here to find the results of one poll. And that's the one coming up, right, Sodium? That's Spy of the Season.
Oh no.
So you can basically read off the nominees from the stream here, being Mezzo, Axio, and Sneaky.
Well, if I don't win, I'm going to leave, so...
I don't really have anything to say. It's just
I think
I don't see the enemy spy most of the time. He doesn't see me. I don't have much to say except of
from the stats, me and Axio were pretty much the same in terms of kills per minute. Like, Axio is slightly higher. Mezzo is significantly higher than us, and I think, personally, I think Mezzo should win. I'd say one of the biggest things is killing Ahmed and killing Layla in the finals changes the flow of the game massively. Like, you can be pretty much about to push with Uber, and it's looking like a good situation for you. Your team has Ad, and you're like, okay, we have a chance, and then Mezzo kills your medic, and you're like, oh well, what's the point now? This is what makes the difference. It really changes how games go. So
what is this? What is going on? You guys are supposed to be like, I deserve Spy of this. Come on, where's I mean, I think Sneaky has done really well in casts that I've seen. Sneaky's been around for ages. I remember playing against you a long time ago. And doing really well. From in recent Prem games. Axio for me has been one of the better players on Phaela this season. Really stepped up and was just getting crazy clutch picks, but also getting 1-2 kills in a row, really just keeping that pressure on. Like you said, when you're just about to push and you're getting your team ready and you have spies and snipers that are constantly getting those kills, it really puts the pressure on you. Okay, we're 2 down now, do we still push? And Axie has been really good at that. And Mezzo, in the final, you just have to watch the final VOD and you see the backstabs on the medic just over and over again. I think when we were casting, we were just Mezzo does it again. Mezzo does it again. It's just so many med kills, and especially at the moment with the way that Spy is getting those big kills on medic and stuff like that, it can be quite difficult compared to previous seasons, perhaps. And the fact that you guys managed to do that has been really good. But I'm going to stop showering you with compliments. I'm getting ready to berate whoever loses. Okay, this is
oh no.
Sodium. Who is Spy of the Season?
All right, coming in 3rd is Sneaky, followed really closely by Axio, and Mezzo taking it by quite a landslide. Congratulations, that's 5th in a row, and it's his 8th in total.
Not surprising at all, sadly. It is what it is. Yeah,
that's fair enough. I'm happy with that. Also, one thing I will say is that before this season, Axio, I hadn't really heard of you as a spy. And I will say that my team had a lot of issues with you focusing on sniper a lot. That was one thing that I'd say you did pretty well this season. But I'm happy with how the votes went, and that is pretty much the biggest landslide of the night. I think that's pretty much the most deserved.
So far,
outcome.
Hours later.
Yeah, true.
Yep. There is 10 nominations left.
Far too graceful, guys. Far too graceful.
Does anyone remember when Catman and Quintosh and Beep were going at each other's throats in that one show? I missed the good old days. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stir up some drama here. You ready? Right. Earlier on, Mezzo, you said that Jackie Legs was the most important player on SCCK, yet you are the one with the highest percentage win on your team so far. What do you think Jackie would have to say about that? Maybe you're the most important player.
I don't know about that.
I don't think a spy player can be the most important player, sadly.
So there we go. We have our lineup of the season. We have our 9 players who have won their respective classes of the season. That is our lineup. And you know what? I love just seeing like all the different like nationalities. You see all of Europe like represented there. We do have 3 more awards to go over. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at all the people like Meer, who has stepped up, taken their precious free time, so busy schedule, all of these people here, so much time, but they take their time out to talk about TF2. And these are the people who've been doing the casting, analysis, production, and observing for KritzKast this season. So thanks to all of them.
Thank you for doing that. Like, I certainly enjoyed the cast a lot. Like this season, the production's really good. The casting's really good. Like, there's a lot of coverage. It's honestly like really good to see, and I think it's good for keeping the community alive and like keeping people watching TF2. So thank you guys, CJ included, for doing that.
But we do have an award going out for caster of the season. And Sodium, do you want to tell us who was nominated or who had the most casts and was put up?
Being Meer, CJ, Dave, Dumtum, and Godfather.
Anyone but Dumtum, please.
Have you casted Highlander before the season, Meer, out of interest?
No, completely. Just started this season.
Yeah, you're pretty good. I like your cast. So, but also CJ, I'd say my favourite two from this list, not just because they're here, I promise, is CJ and Meer. But like, I enjoy all the people that cast there, but I think it realistically will be between CJ and Meer. I did see a lot of people spamming voted for Meer as caster of the season in the threads.
Okay, the chat has been requesting drama, so Meer deserves the vote much more than CJ. I won't explain my reasoning. He just deserves it.
You made an enemy of me, Axio. I complimented.
It's what the chat wanted. I'm sorry. You asked for drama. There you go. You have some drama now.
I don't like
yourself.
comparing the casters, to be honest. I like.
Okay, of course. Yes.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I think Meer would definitely deserve it this season. Meer's been fantastic. It's been a pleasure to cast with him. Likewise, like casting with Meer is different to casting with Dave and like everyone. And you see Godfather come in, and he's just like hype personified. Like it's just there's so many different styles. It's great because there's so many great casters out there at the moment, and there's so many great, like you get all these little dynamics going on. It's been fantastic, and I'm sure Meer agrees on casting with all the different people. It's been a pleasure casting with him this season. It's nice to have had you for this season.
Yeah, we've got a good pool going. I'm looking forward to the future of it as well.
Hit us with the votes.
Coming in 5th is Godfather, followed by Dave. 3rd is Dumtum.
Okay.
2nd is Meer and CJ, taking caster of the season, his 10th caster of the season.
Okay.
Is that one of the most like? So have you won the caster of the season award like more than any player has won an award, CJ?
Probably. I don't know.
CJ, the most awarded player.
I talk
without playing TF2.
Yeah. No, I don't like talking. It's very close, and I think that's deserved. I mean,
apparently it's a 10 vote difference between CJ and Meer, according to production.
That's 10 votes. They're coming for you, CJ.
Maybe next season. There's always next season.
It's just a matter of time before I fade into obscurity and Meer becomes, the future. Meer, give us some words. I need you to inspire the next generation of casters. Look into the camera.
Well, for me, I think it's been incredibly welcoming. I sort of thrust myself in head first. I started just sort of watching my mate's mate Six's games on my Twitch channel. Saw the call up from TFTV. We're always looking for people, production particularly, and Dumtum gave me the opportunity to come here, and Wiethoofd has sort of thrust me forward at every opportunity. So I've enjoyed everyone I worked with. It's been really solid. The games have been really interesting. It's been pretty close this season. But yeah, it's just been a pleasure, really, and it's exciting going forward as well.
Enough talking about casters. Like I said, it's been a pleasure casting with Meer and the others. But we're back to the players. And we now have the non-class awards, 2 coming up. First up is Debut of the Season. Now, Debut of the Season is given to the person who had the best season playing in Prem for the first time. So all of these players played in Prem for the first time in Season 23, and this is about who was the best of those. And I think there's quite a lot of them, Sodium.
Yeah, we have quite a list of nominees here today, being Date, Sammy, Adam, Quarkionic, Walker, Axio, BB, Satan, Broken, Vicman, and Silvermaster. That's 3 of those players also were nominated for their respective class categories. Seeing these new players coming in and then straight up aiming for the top.
6 Russians in this, but none voted for their class.
I would like to see Satan win because he needs a W after not being nominated for class of the season.
I think I vote for BB because I thought he did a lot more work. But also, like, I can't have to say Dell and Sammy from my team both did very well. Dell in particular on Pyro.
Yeah, I went out for BB as well. Like he's jumped up tremendously and looked really comfortable through the whole season. And obviously you got Sammy as well, who was sort of on the cusp of breaking into Prem a number of times in the past few seasons. And again, he's looked, really solid, really comfortable throughout. So a really good pool coming up, and nobody really having any stinkers whatsoever, I would say, from that list there. So
Yeah, also Axio, worth mention. Axio, you did really well. Obviously, you came second in Spy of the season, and like this was your first season in Prem, and I would say you definitely were one of the better spies in Prem. So there's a lot of people here, I would say, that deserve to win, that like could win and deserve to win.
Yeah, one thing I quite like is seeing there's a number of Bad Dragons players who reached the playoff, but 3 players there, Axio, Satan, BB, all on Phaler, who reached the final. You were top seeds, at the end of the regular season. So in your first season to be able to do that, that's something that, not many people can say they've done. So yeah, it's nice to see that there are, players coming through and competing, with the best. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this spreads out. Sodium, what kind of percentages are we looking at here?
So we're gonna drill it down from 5th to 1st. Coming in 5th is Axio.
Okay.
Coming in 4th is Satan, followed by Delt. 2nd is Sammy, and winning debut of the season is BB. Congratulations.
Fair enough. Yeah.
3 failure players in the top 5 there.
Not Satan, but close enough.
It is hard to say who deserved that because I do genuinely think like you could have given that to any of the like top 5, definitely. Really.
Yeah, I think, but I was struggling to decide between the 3 failure players personally. I think I went with Axio in the end just because of maybe the impact. But yeah, BB and Satan I think definitely deserved it. So I mean that's quite. I'm trying to look at the percentage, but it's kind of blurry on this screen. It's like 24%. That's considering the number of players getting pretty much a quarter of the vote. BB kind of running away with that nearly, kind of.
As a scout does.
Well, there we go. But no one cares about if it's your first season. It's all about the big boy award, the big, huge MVP player of the season. I do believe there's some players who could be winning 2 awards here tonight. Sodium, who is nominated?
So we have Sandburn, Mezzo, Joanne, and Lizer.
No Jackie Legs is surprising, I will say.
Yeah. For me, it would be either Sandburn or Jackie.
I believe Joe deserves this award. Joe has done a lot for Fail this season. He has done more than any of these players for their teams. We'll see how it goes, but I believe that Jonathan Newcastle should be the one receiving this award.
I think Logan or Lizard deserves to win the award. He definitely was one of the reasons that we didn't finish lower down the table.
Sodium, can you, I don't know if you've got these stats to hand, but Samba, Mezzo, and Joe, they've all won MVP before?
I'm not sure about Sandburn, but Joe and Mezzo definitely have, yeah.
Who is going to be the MVP of season 23?
Well, if you've been paying attention, we still haven't had a closer vote than what we had on Pyro with the 5-vote difference. So that's the last vote, so it has to be coming up here. Coming in 4th is Lizar, followed by Sandburn. Joe taking 2nd and Mezzo taking the MVP.
Unbelievable. I can't.
I
demand a vote.
Extra maybe.
That's so close.
That is one vote.
I demand a recount.
1 vote.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's 117 versus 118 votes.
I'd say personally, no offense, Mezzo, that maybe I'll go with Joe above you just because he main calls. But like, having said that, there's a lot of things that like you do that do just change the way like the game goes.
Well, there we have it. Congratulations to Mezzo for being the best player of season 23. We can do now a total recap of all of the awards that have been given tonight. We have Best Scout of the Season is BB, Soldier of the Season is Jackie Legs, Best Pyro is Yahoo, Best Demo is Joe N, Best Heavy is Samburn, Engineer Clark, Medic is Gedu, Best Sniper is Cloudy, Best Spy is Mezzo, Debut of the Season was BB, Best Player of the Season was Mezzo, and Best Caster was CJ. It's a nice graphic which shows the changes of the total awards. Stepping up to 7th place is Cloudy now with 3 awards, all Sniper of the Season awards. Joe, Samburn, and Gedu are now up to joint 5th place with 5 awards. So they are climbing the ranks. Yahoo has now jumped up to have 8 Power of the Season awards, leveling with Steve. Clark and Jackie Legs both eclipsing that mark with 9 awards up to 2nd place. They now have the most awards given to a single class, I believe, Engineer for Clark and Soldier for Jackie Legs, while Mezzo with his 2 is also in 2nd place with 9, with 6 Spy and 3 MVP, I believe. And then there's some dude at the top who's just got some extra awards. So that is how it's some crazy when you see how far we've come. We have sort of some old school names like Lazy Bear and Shadowburn, people like that on the list, and you see how some of the new faces are driving up that table. And thanks everyone for joining. Mezzo, Axio, Sodium, Sneaky, and Meer for joining tonight and talking. It's always nice when we have guests that actually like to talk about the TF2 and not just agree. Maybe no fighting this time around, but next season maybe it'll get spicier. We can go to some shout outs. We can go across the top. Axia, do you have any shout outs?
I would like to shout out my team, of course. Thank you, Faila Esports, for not choking this time.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my team also. Like, it was a pretty good season. We did all right. Other than that, not really. Just like you guys for casting so much. It's really good to see.
Shout out to my team, especially Jackie and Clark, and shout out to Redlegs.
Shout out to all the teams, obviously. Shout out to production, the unsung heroes. Shout out to the Meer clan. You know how it is.
One year, I just want someone to not shout their team, like an anti-shout out. Sodium, any shout outs coming from you?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out my team, different kind of team, but still put in a lot of work behind the scenes in making the season happen.
Shout out to everyone joining. Thank you guys for joining me tonight, making time in your schedules to come on and talk about TF2. It's appreciated, and I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Thanks especially to Sodium for collating all the numbers and sorting out all of the awards, and of course Wiethoofd for doing all the production in the background. It is really appreciated. Shout out to you guys in chat. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back in the future with more TF2. I believe there's UGC finals coming up soon, playoffs. We've got sixes, and of course there will be season 24 on the horizon. I'm sure we will be seeing a lot of these faces back in the future. I'm sure you'll be hearing myself and Meer talking over the games, and maybe in like 6 months' time we'll be back here again talking about who deserves what award, and there'll be some new faces. But thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Take care of yourselves. Good night.